Happy Saturday. My name is Stacey Leanne. I love makeup, I love true crime, and I love horror movies. So if that sounds like you, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I will see you every Saturday. So this week we are talking about Annabelle and the Warrens and that whole story behind it. I will be going in with Jolie Beauty's newest collection, Festivalt. I have the Hellish palette and I just can't resist a purple, and the Mosh Pit setting spray. Let's get into it. The true story of Annabelle is absolutely wild. Since the Conjuring movies were released, followed by the Annabelle movie in 2004, there has been just a fascination with Annabelle, the Warrens, and the true story behind it all. Now, the real-life Annabelle doll was in fact a Raggedy Ann doll, and to be honest, they're both creepy looking. When I was younger, I was given these China dolls and they were terrifying, so they went straight in the loft. Many of the details surrounding the dolls are frighteningly similar. The real Annabelle was given as a gift to a student nurse, Donna, for her birthday from her mother. She bought it from a second-hand hobby store. What a gift. So Donna lived with her friend Angie at the time, and she was so happy to bring the doll home. It set pride of place on top of her bed, but unfortunately the doll would become a great source of fear for both of the girls. So to start off with, Annabelle did make really small movements, which the girls kind of explained away. Things like she was left on the bed and they'd come back and she was sat on the chair, or, she was out in the hallway. Things that, could be explained. I mean, I think I could understand, like, Angie thinking she left her doll in the hallway, but wouldn't Donna say something? Be like, why did you leave it there? Do you know what I mean? So Donna and Angie weren't 100% convinced that they thought they were to blame for the doll's movements. I definitely think I would be losing my mind though, but then I'd never have a creepy doll in my house, So a friend of the girls, Lou, he became really nervous around the doll. He said he just got a bad feeling, he sensed evil, and the girls needed to be careful. Now, not long after this warning, the girls started to find strange notes around their apartment. The notes were written on parchment paper, which neither of the girls had ever used. And there definitely wasn't any around the house. The note said various things, but most commonly was help us. I kind of want to use one of the shimmers, but I think maybe I'll just do a good wing. I'll be right back. Donna came home from work one day and the doll was in her usual spot on the bed. However, the doll had like a red liquid all over her hands, and Donna was just convinced that it was blood. She said it looked like the blood was coming from the doll itself. And this is what convinced the girls to call in some help. The first medium the girls met with said that the apartment complex was in fact an old field, and a young girl aged around 7 was found deceased there many years ago. Her spirit hung around the area, and when the doll came into the apartment, the young girl loved Annabelle, so decided to attach itself to the doll. Donna and Angie, they just felt such compassion for the young girl. They wanted to keep the doll so the girl would never feel alone again, which is quite sweet, right? Now, Donna and Angie's friend Lou was always hanging out at their apartment. These are a bit of a learning curve to get on, but they're so cute. These are the Khloe Kardashian tatty lashes. Cute. Donna and Angie's friend Lou was always hanging around the apartment, and in one instance Lou was actually attacked by Annabelle. So Lou and Angie, they were hanging out in their front room when all of a sudden they heard a really loud bang come from Donna's room, and Lou, of course, went to investigate. As he opened Donna's door, he said he felt like there was just this overwhelming fear. It just crept over him like something was really wrong. Annabelle, she wasn't sat in her usual spot on the bed. She was, in fact, in the chair in the corner of the room. Now, as Lou moved into the room, he said he just felt this searing pain right across his chest, and he shouted out for Angie, who came running. When she got to him, she lifted up his top and saw that there were 3 large claw marks, like an animal had attacked him. So she ran to get her medical bag. Now, by the time she managed to get back to Lou, the marks had already started to disappear, and they had absolutely no explanation for what was going on. That would be enough for me to be like, I'm out, you know? Now, there is another account of Lou's story where he was asleep on the girl's sofa, mixed up at home, right? And he felt something heavy on his chest, and he kind of woke up a bit, and he was frozen in place, and it felt like something was like forcibly strangling him. And when he managed to sit up, that's when the large claw marks across his chest appeared. So there's 2 different accounts. I mean, whichever one you believe, I wouldn't stay in that apartment. I would never come back. Now, after this event, the girls contacted Father Cook, who was a priest local to the area and who was also familiar with this case, and he in turn contacted the Warrens. So Ed and Lorraine Warren were American paranormal investigators. Ed, who was a self-taught demonologist, and Lorraine, who was a clairvoyant and a light trance medium. Now, I'm not really sure what that is, so I'll put it here. Now, the Warrens believed that the doll wasn't truly possessed, but that an inhumane presence was using it to interact with the girls. Now, as far as the Warrens were concerned, Donna and Angie's troubles really started when they began to believe the doll deserved their compassion and their understanding and their sympathy. They said that spirits do not possess inanimate objects like houses and things, that they attach themselves to people. The inhumane spirit that manipulated the doll and created the illusion of being alive that's really nice. Was never looking to stay attached to the doll. It wanted a human host, which is chilling. the Warrens noted what they believed to be the signs of demonic possession, teleportation, making the doll move on its own, materialization, the parchment paper, and lastly, the claw marks on Lou's chest, which is the mark of the beast. Firstly, the Warrens and Father Cook performed a ritual cleansing and blessing of the apartment to remove any negative energy. They were then able to remove Annabelle from the apartment. Now, if it was me, I would have taken the doll out first and then done the cleansing and the blessing, because if Annabelle's still there, then the negative energy is still there. But anyway, what do I know? So Annabelle, she is out of the apartment. The girls are finally free. The Warrens put Annabelle into the back of their car and they head home. So Annabelle, she was not happy to leave at all. And the Warrens documented several paranormal experiences within minutes of the doll coming into their possession. So Ed, he decided that it would probably be safer for them to stay off the highway, and they decided to take the back roads home instead. They were worried about Annabelle overpowering them and causing like a serious accident. But even the back roads proved risky. Lorraine claimed that the brakes failed several times, resulting in many near misses, that Ed had to pull out some holy water and douse the doll with it. Now this did seem to get the Warrens home safely. So they managed to get Annabelle home. Upon arriving, Ed placed the doll in his study, and over the next few days, the Warrens documented the doll levitating and moving all around their house. She was then put in an office in an outhouse with a locked door, and she still managed to get back inside the house. So the Warrens thought it was best to try and find some way to contain Annabelle. So they had a case made out of glass and wood, and inside the case they put the Lord's Prayer and the prayer for St. Michael. Ed, he would periodically recite a binding prayer and spray holy water over the case which contained the doll. There were also warnings not to touch the doll, and he ended up putting her in their occult museum with the rest of their paranormal artifacts. Annabelle, she still sits in their occult museum, and it is maintained by their son-in-law. Since being entrapped in the case, it seems to have kept the sinister spirit at bay, mostly. Annabelle the doll hasn't moved again, although it is alleged that her spirit has found ways to reach out. One priest that actually visited the museum openly mocked Annabelle, and even through Ed's warnings, the priest continued to laugh at the whole thing. On his way home, the priest was involved in a near fatal car crash, and he said he could see Annabelle in the rear view mirror as he crashed. Another visitor was just laughing with his girlfriend about how ridiculous the whole story was, and there was no way that any of it was true. As the couple were on their way home, they actually lost control of the motorcycle that he was riding. He was found deceased. So on their way home, they were still laughing about Annabelle and how ridiculous the whole thing was. He was riding a motorcycle, his girlfriend was on the back, and unfortunately they did have a fatal car crash, but the girlfriend did survive. Over the years, the Warrens have continued to recount these stories as proof of Annabelle's influence, but nothing could ever be corroborated. Corroborated. Oh my goodness. Whatever you believe about the Warrens, they are fascinating, and either way, it's a really good story, and it's helped James Wan turn this into a whole universe. I do firmly believe that there are things that you just shouldn't mess with, but people continue to, and we get a decent horror story out of it. But that is in fact the story of Annabelle. What do you think? What do you think? I really want to know. Do you think that it's all rubbish? Do you think that some parts could be true? Let me know. If you have a story that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments. If you want to treat yourself to Jolie Beauty's new collection, I do have an affiliate link which I will pop down below.
How to help you with that.
My Alexa's talking to me. Okay. I'm sorry, Annabelle, I believe. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye.